Hi, I'm making this video because I want to talk about my battle with acne for about 20 years of my life. I first started getting acne when I was 11 years old. I started getting pimples on my cheeks. I didn't know what it was. Um, my dad told me it was just a bad rash and it will go away. But it didn't go away, it started getting worse. And then they told me that it was pimples and I was becoming a teenager, so I would naturally break out. So I had to go through my teenage years dealing with acne. I would break out, I didn't know what to do. I simply used soap back then. Then I started using a cleanser, toner, moisturizing. And I realized that the toners were not working for me because every time I use a toner, my skin would start to tighten, and then once it tightens, I would realize that my skin is producing more oil. And then the cleanser that I was using, I had to use a cleanser with a pH of 5.5. And once I'd used the cleansing, toning, moisturizing, the moisturizer had to be oil-free, and it was difficult to get an oil-free moisturizer because sometimes with oily skin you don't really need moisturizing, but you do need to moisturize, so you have to get an oil-free moisturizer. And a couple of years back, I was referred by a friend to go to a dermatologist. And when I went to see her, she told me I had sensitive skin. So I remember I had exfoliated and I was breaking out, and she told me that with sensitive skin, you can't really exfoliate. You got to use a gentle, you got to be far more gentle with your skin. So she gave me my cleanser and moisturizer, and I started using that for a few months, and I think I fell sick once and I couldn't continue with the routine. And then what happened was I noticed that my skin was breaking out again once I stopped using the dermatologist products. I would have open pores and there would be like comedons. I think that's what they would call it, comedons. And sometimes I'll get these large lumps under the skin that they don't really come out to the surface. I think you can call them nodules. Yeah, nodules acne. It's not really cystic acne. And those would take very long to heal, and basically they leave a very large scar behind. So I was done with using all those chemicals on my skin, and a couple of years back I remembered when I first had chickenpox. I had Googled because I didn't know what to apply on my chickenpox. I didn't have chickenpox as a child. I didn't have chickenpox as a child, so I only got it like when I was like 20 plus, I guess. So when I started getting the chickenpox, and when I Googled it, and they said you could put honey on your chickenpox spots, and I was just starting to break out on my face, so I quickly dabbed honey on my spot on the face, and then I noticed that the whole part of my face was not breaking out. I was not getting chickenpox on my face, but I had spots all over my body. So for those 2 weeks, the doctor didn't give me any lotion to apply on my chickenpox spots. So what I did was I applied honey. I used a cotton bud, and I would apply honey on my on those spots all over my body, and I'll leave it there for like 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll shower, and it will just easily go off. And what the honey was doing was that I realized that the honey was actually drying out those spots. You can say it was sucking out the water content in the spot, so it was actually drying it out. So I started to do more research on honey, and I realized that you can actually use honey because of its antibacterial properties for acne as well. So there was a phase where I threw out my cleanser and I started using only honey to cleanse my face. I would cleanse it in the morning, and at night I wouldn't use those chemical cleansers. I would just use honey. I first started out with using the clear honey that you get at a normal store, and then I went for the 100% pure honey, or I couldn't get organic honey. And then there was this Manuka honey. Manuka honey was a bit too moisturizing for me, so after I applied it, I would apply it like about, I would first wet my face, then I would apply honey and rub it all over my face, and I might wait for 5-10 minutes before I wash it off. With Manuka honey, it had some fine grains, and I didn't want to apply it on my face because I have so sensitive skin. I didn't want to aggravate the situation, so I just went back to using normal honey. Another thing that I found that I could use as a mask to absorb the oil content on my face, and also as a gentle exfoliator or facial scrub, is green bean powder. I can get it at my local grocery store. So I just make it into a paste and apply it all over my face as a mask. I wait for it to dry up. Once it has dried up, I would wash my face and gently rub so that I can remove all those whiteheads and blackheads that were in my open pores. And then I was introduced to tea tree oil. I came across tea tree oil, and I heard about the benefits of tea tree oil. And whenever I break out, I would just apply tea tree oil just on the spots, not on the entire whole face, because it can be a bit too drying. And the other natural remedy that I found was actually jojoba oil. Now I know that some people say they tend to break out when they use jojoba oil, but when I first started out, I knew that jojoba oil might break out my skin. So what I did was I just applied very little. I just smeared it over my cheeks, and then I noticed that I was breaking out very little. There was like small tiny whiteheads on the side of my face, but I continued with it. In the morning I will moisturize my face with jojoba oil, and at night, and I started to notice the difference. My skin wasn't dry. I didn't have those whiteheads in my open pores. Sometimes I would have like comedons in my pores. They were all I think it had been softened. So I found honey, tea tree oil, and jojoba oil to have been the natural remedies that helped me with my battle with acne. I won't say that I'm completely cured of acne, but I've managed to keep it under control. Now, how would I apply the jojoba oil? I would have this little spray bottle. This bottle, I'll fill it up with water and add about 10 drops of tea tree oil inside this bottle. And then once I'm out of the shower, I mostly do this at night because it gets really oily, and I would spray onto my face, and then I'll take about jojoba oil. This is the jojoba oil that I use. I hope you can see that. Okay. I would take about I would apply it on my palm and just turn the bottle upside down. So I do it twice, and I get that amount of jojoba oil. I'll rub it onto my palms and then massage it all over my face to break it down, because jojoba is actually a wax. And it says that jojoba oil, it acts like your natural face oil, so it would trick the skin into thinking that it is producing oil. So that would be my normal routine every night. Is I spray my face with tea tree water and then jojoba oil, and then I would dab my spots, the one that I'm breaking out on, with tea tree oil. And if I don't continue this process, I realize that my skin breaks out. So I have to be pretty consistent in my routine. Now the other thing is, with acne, you have blemishes, you have open pores. So the pores, I learned you can't really close your pores. You could use I mean, thank God in the market now they have this pore refining primer. I just got this today, and it's supposed to minimize the appearance of my pores, which is pretty good because once I've applied that, I don't know whether it minimized my pores, but the thing is I don't feel the dryness. Once I apply my moisturizer and my primer, I would apply my BB cream. Now with BB cream, I can't use the one that is I have to use the oil-free BB cream, and I can't use the one that is in the creamy format or the liquid format. I can only use the one that it's like BB stick, the Maybelline BB stick. It seems to work for me because it's oil-free and it's pretty drying. So once I applied it all over my face, I don't really need such a thick foundation because I don't like wearing such thick foundation to cover my blemishes. So I just use this Maybelline BB stick, which I've got over here. Maybelline BB stick, I hope you can see that. And it's not as oily as the other one that I got. When I first started using BB cream, I used this Silky Girl, which is a local brand in Singapore, and this was a bit too oily for me because I was using moisturizer and then BB cream, because BB cream is also a moisturizer. And that is my makeup routine to hide my blemishes, and I don't really use that much of a concealer. I just wait it out. That is all. So yeah, I have to deal with acne, but you can really keep it under control. But have I found a cure for acne? I don't think it can be cured, but it can be kept under control. So that's about it. I just wanted to share about how I've been struggling with my acne for the past 20 years of my life, and I'm still going on strong. So thank you for listening. Bye bye.